Very, very warm greetings from DPIIT, Government of India. It is an honor and a privilege to be part of this session today at the Retail Leadership Summit organized by the Retail Association of India. The Government of India has been giving particular importance to retail and internal trade. And you all know, in January 2019, just to emphasize and to create institutional mechanisms for supporting retail and internal trade, the department that I have, it was called the Department for Industrial Policy and Promotion. And this department was renamed to include internal trade as part of its nomenclature. So that is, I am just emphasizing this to underscore the importance that Government of India attaches to this huge segment. And we realize the importance of this sector in the well-being of this nation. So now this department is called the Department for Promotion of Internal Trade, Industry and Internal Trade. So it is our responsibility to promote internal trade in the country. Over the last 2 years, this has given an opportunity for us to interact with different representatives of traders from across the country, to different states, and the national bodies of traders and retailers like you. And I must appreciate the way RAI has organized its work, the way you have articulated issues, the way your association is championing the cause of your members. It is usually done in a forthright, articulate, and a logical manner. I must appreciate your leadership for this particular thing. I was very happy to see the contents of the BCG report that was launched yesterday. Now, we don't have a lot of authentic data, primary data, on internal trade and retail trade. We have some NSSO surveys to see how many traders actually exist in the country, how many are doing it physically, how many are doing with different modes of technology that is available today. So one of the directions that we are trying to take, we are trying to work out, is it possible, is it feasible to do kind of a census of everyone who's participating in internal trade, who's doing retailing. You are an organized community. You have 2,000 members. But if you look at remote corners of the country, we have every small place would have hundreds of such entities providing services to the society, retailing something or the other, right from a small panwala to a huge shop. Can we have actual numbers on how many such entities are there, how many people are employed, how many are women, what is the kind of income structure that they have, what is the kind of segregation of different kinds of entities do we have? So this is one of the primary concerns that we have. We're trying to work out some methodology of conducting such an exercise. And RAI is part of our efforts that are going on. One of the other things that we need to have is a national retail trade policy. Looking at it from the Government of India's point of view, The constitutional scheme of things are very clear. The government of India is only mandated to look at interstate trading issues. Apart from, there are some nuances. But the government of India can only make policies on which are relating to interstate trading. All the other trade that happens is within the domain of the state governments. So the policy that we make needs to have this framework absolutely in mind. And it is more of a strategy and a directional kind of thing where we do capacity building of state governments to move in a direction that is considered desirable. We've had industry associations working on retail trade policy. We've received a number of recommendations. And let me just enumerate some of the broad areas on which the work is going on. So the primary thing that comes is ease of doing business. Today, if you have to open one retail store in some state, I am told you have to take at least 57 different permissions. In some state, this number is 26. And then, this is not one time. Many of them have to be done yearly. It is not a lifetime kind of thing. Sometimes you have to do it twice a year, 2 years, 5 years. Every state will have their own regulations. Many of them are ancient. They need to be looked at on how we can reform them for the current context. This is one of the priority areas that we are looking at. All the regulatory acts and the processes relating to those acts are being examined. The second thing is, and when I am saying this, I am not addressing myself only to the members of RAI. I am saying this for the entire internal trade community, which includes all those who are not either organized or on e-commerce. So we need to see how we could help them get finance. It is one of the major issues that we have. Can we enable a small merchant, a small trader, technologically, so that he takes advantage of all those software technology, hardware technology tools that are available today to enhance efficiencies in the way he procures and he distributes stuff? Use of technology is the third aspect. How can we improve access to technology and all the methods that go with it? Skill development, we just spoke about. As we get more and more professional, as the retail gets more and more professional, you need more and more skilled manpower at all levels, right from retail store to the higher levels. Do we have sufficient schools providing opportunities for training, for skilling and upskilling? Because this is one area, maybe after construction, which has huge employment potential. And you mentioned a number of 45 million. I think the number is much larger than 45 million. This could be just the organized retail. I mean, the numbers that I have are huge. They are much larger than what the number that you just quoted. But again, since I don't have an authentic figure, so I can't mention a figure. But I believe that the number employed by the internal trade industry, retailers, is much larger than 45 million, that number you've just quoted. The next pillar of our retail policy is infrastructure. How can we improve infrastructure for movement of goods from one place to the other in a seamless and efficient manner? How can a trader in one part of the country, in the Western India, supply something to a remote corner in the Northeast India in a seamless manner, which is logistically efficient? How can we have modern warehouses which are not just godowns, but technologically enabled? And how we can support private sector develop them? What is the kind of incentives that government could offer? These are some of the issues that we are intensely looking at. And then we are also creating a continuous dialogue mechanisms, continuous consultative mechanisms. We've created structure for a national traders welfare board. We want to replicate the same thing in all the states, down up to the district level, so that all kinds of grievances can be handled very effectively in a timely manner. During the time of COVID, in the last 1 year, we've had, very interesting engagement with all the retailers. When we were looking at providing essential supplies to people who are contained in containment zones, we were trying out with some startups. We were trying out how we could catch demand, how we could look at delivery that is possible locally, and then how we could serve at their doorstep inside the containment zones. And this has been a very, very educative exercise. A new idea has emerged out of that. And that is what we are working today. It's called the Open Network for Digital Commerce. We are doing a pilot. RAI is a part of that steering committee there. And it is getting very interesting. Every day it's getting more and more interesting. What is ONDC? It's about, creating protocols for doing electronic commerce. So today, for example, internet is run over HTTP protocol. You use emails and you use SMTP protocol. So can we have protocols for digital commerce where nobody can monopolize? Where a housewife can use any application on her mobile phone to search for something that she needs in her own language. And the local kirana wala has an equal opportunity of showing up in her search results and delivering what today is delivered from 2 hours away. Can we do something like this? We are looking at an open source protocolization of end-to-end commerce, digital commerce. This is a very, very interesting aspect. We are working at it, and we are now at a stage where we are looking at including some of the players to participate with us in the pilot. I invite all of you to have a look at this concept. Let us see how we can work together for mutual benefit. Another issue that has been brought is the issue of compulsory labeling on products of the maximum retail price. Do you really need those labels physically? It has been stated that a number of goods can simply have a QR code, and we could have e-pricing. So somebody scanning, and then you are directed to the manufacturer's authentic website. There are issues. There are a whole lot of advantages. We are also looking at that very seriously. I'm sure the kind of dialogue that we have with RAI and all the other representatives of internal trading community in India, we look at working very, very closely to resolve your issues, be a facilitator, so that we could serve the society more efficiently. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, giving me this platform for sharing, for enabling me to share my thoughts. And I wish you all the very best for the conference that you're having. Thank you very much.